Hey everyone, welcome to the program, WRSA Radio. I am your host, G1. As always, I hope you are having a good week. It has been a rough one for me. Things in the workplace as well as personal life. Just some challenges that come along the way that we all face from time to time. But with everything going on, you kind of hope that they are brief and just minor obstacles or minor problems, but so it's been kind of a tiring one. So with that, what are we getting into today? Well, mostly we're going to discuss our mushhead president and the options and potential course of action that the elites have in front of them with his obvious state of decline. Last week, while the video of Tucker Carlson interviewing Putin was premiering on stream, the handlers-in-chief decided that it would be a great idea to roll out President Pudding Pop to give him a presser on his recent legal situation regarding his own troubles with classified documents and their mishandling. Could not have been a more stark contrast, by the way, of President Pudding Pop bumbling and stumbling and an hour or 2 hour interview with Putin talking off the cuff about hundreds of years of Russian history. It was just, whether you liked the interview or not, I don't necessarily think that the interview with Putin and Carlson really gave us anything new and dramatic and revealing. It was just the nature of the conversations itself was quite revealing. Anyway, during the presser, Biden stumbles and mumbles and yells and whispers for a short period of time, and then he pretends to take questions from the media. But the kicker and the key takeaway was that, he called the president of Egypt the president of Mexico. So in this conversation that he's out here having, which is supposedly to prove, how fit and whatever he is, he ends up proving the point of the document that was released, which was, he's a kind-hearted, bumbling old man. But the monumental miscalculation of his handlers attempting to get in front of the American people and kind of gloat in that decision of the Justice Department to, not prosecute Biden over the mishandling of classified information. It was a stark contrast, a stark display. The Justice Department special counsel determines that Biden was too mentally unfit to be prosecuted, but he is apparently still perfectly fine to be president. But people, I don't think this was a miscalculation at all. In spite of the right-wing media revealing themselves and reveling in the wash of how this played out and making considerable political fare with it, they got a lot of mileage out of it. There's no way that the handlers are this stupid. Is there? I don't think there is. Are we dealing with people that are this bad, this dumb? I just don't. I don't see that. How did they think this was going to go? Was this just really a really bad attempt at damage control and trying to get out in front of the report that fell flat on its face because their guy's a dementia patient? Is that really what's going on here? Are we seeing, was this something that was put together by a very close-knit group of Biden supporters like Joe Biden and some of the people that are loyalists, the ones that are really right there holding on? No, we got to get Joe out there. He's got to talk about this. But the people that are kind of one step away from that inner circle, they're probably like, yeah, no, this is going to go bad, but we're going to do it because we've got to prove to people that this is as bad as they think it is. I don't know. I don't think it was a miscalculation. I think the handlers are well aware of how this looks, and they are planning for what they're going to do as the election drags on. I think some aspect of the ballot legal cases that are being determined in court are part of this play. I think the handlers kind of realize that Biden has to be replaced on the ballot. And by having the states attempt to remove Trump, they're using Trump and his money to get a determination that states can't remove a candidate from the ballot. Think about it. Think about it. If they replace Biden with someone who is shocking in some shape, form, or fashion, and I'm speculating, I don't know, for example, but it's possible that Republicans in some states may try to use that same removal tactic against that candidate. Now, we don't know who the candidate is at this point, so we can only really speculate there, and by speculating what the basis for a removal would be, we don't know. But it's likely that the GOP somewhere would challenge the eligibility of that person and try to have them removed. So by taking this tactic with Trump, they accomplish two things. They cost the GOP and Trump's campaign a lot of money fighting this in court and dealing with this on the legal front. And they get that question determined before they even make their switch. So it's a win for them if the court rules in favor of Trump, and it's a win for them if the court rules that Trump can't be or can be removed, which I don't think there's any expectation that he's not going to win this case. I don't think there's any real legal basis for the states to be doing what they're doing. But even if they lose that case, they win because Trump has spent a crap ton of money on all these legal cases, and now they don't have to deal with those cases running up to the election. So it's lawfare, another aspect of lawfare against the other side. And I think that's what's at play here. But I could be wrong. I don't think I'm wrong about Biden being replaced. There seems to be a groundswell of people calling for this to happen, even people who are his supporters and people in his own party are beginning to realize that, yeah, the curtains kind of come down on this thing. The so-called public opinion polls indicate that the majority of Americans think Biden is really unfit for a second term. So I don't think that what we saw played out at that presser was really a big surprise. I think it was a calculated move to build some public opinion for Biden to be replaced on the ballot and to try to get people who are, hardcore Democrat voters or people who may be sitting on the fence to begin to get that into their minds of, okay, this guy's got to go, so who are we going to get now? So they're trying to build a campaign that is running parallel to the Biden campaign. And they'll sweep in at some late hour when Trump does not have a lot of time to respond, and they'll replace Biden with someone else. So who might that be? Well, your guess is as good as mine, but let's take a look at some of the options. So the first one that immediately jumps to mind is Hillary Clinton. But that woman is absolute political poison. I don't think there's any way that she gets near a ballot. And so I think that one is a no-go from start. Michelle Obama. That's very possible. Although I think there is some concern there that dirty little secrets may come to light that might play a huge part in that decision. So I'm not sure that she's really going to be the one. I think there's some public opinion, there's some swell for that and some support for that, but I really don't think that they want to do that. And there is some, rumor and kind of murmuring in the background, which is kind of, I think, laying the groundwork to not pick her. But there's rumbling there that, well, she's said that she doesn't want that job. She doesn't want to be president. And she has not really expressed anything in the past, to my recollection, about being a political candidate. She's never ran for lower office or anything like that. So as much as that one might look attractive to some people in that party and on that side of the spectrum, I don't necessarily think that's going to be the person that they pick. Well, what about Gavin Newsom? This guy's probably more likely. I think he is considered a star in the Democratic Party, and putting him on the ballot late would help kind of shield him from a long campaign that would put the focus and spotlight on all of the failures that he's had in California that he's responsible for. So that's a possibility. That's kind of a good strong candidate for them. He is someone that I think that the left really looks for as a leader and a rising star, if you will. I think if he's not part of this go round in the election, I think he certainly will be brought into the forefront of the next cycle, if we make it to the next election cycle. So maybe it's one of those people, but maybe it's someone else from out of the blue that we are not expecting. And that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. I kind of think that it is that it's someone that we just haven't thought of yet. And I think that that's the way it is because of this situation with the ballot thing. But I don't know. And so then you have to ask yourself, is that going to work? And if it's not going to work, then is that already determined to be in the cards as well? Is the play really just to concede that Trump is likely to win this next election? Are they already coming to grips with that and making moves to kind of switch tactics back to that internal resistance model that they used during his first term? I think that's probably what's playing out here. Remember, they work on many levels at the same time, so openly and publicly they're making moves with a replacement candidate, but behind the scenes they're already marshaling their insiders to put plans into place to thwart every aspect of Trump's agenda. They'll tie the executive branch up in court for years, and they'll slow roll every policy decision. They'll have people that just flat out do not follow directions and orders, everything that they can do to stop what needs to be done. And here's the bad part that you have to get your head around. If you think winning this election is going to change all of that, you are wrong. Just winning is not enough. Trump will likely do nothing to stop this, and no one will be punished. Nothing will happen to these people. And I'm saying that because that's the track record that he has. That's what happened in his first term. We didn't see anyone punished. We didn't see any repercussions for what they were doing. And that is unless you demand it, unless you make it happen, unless the public gets behind a complete dismantling of the executive branch to gut it and replace these people, nothing's going to change. You can't let Trump rest on his win. You can't let him be content to just be the president and bask in the glow of the press, as negative as it might be towards him. That's really what he wants, but that's not what's going to get the job done. There's this fear that Trump's going to go on this revenge tour, if you will, that there's some rumblings about that fear inside of the administration that's what's going to happen. Make that happen. Hold them accountable. Give him the leeway to do that. Don't buy the hype. The media are going to go apoplectic and call Trump Orange Hitler and all kinds of other names and invectives. And some of you are going to go weak in the knees and say, well, I like Trump, but he's going too far. He's turning into a fascist. Whatever. No, he's not going to go far enough unless you demand it, unless you call for it and demand accountability. I'm not even talking necessarily about criminal trials initially, although those surely need to take place. I'm talking about just flat out firing these people. Demand that these departments be shut down and everybody gets fired, and then you can go in and reconstitute the department under new management with rules to fix these deep-rooted problems. That can't happen until people are out on the street with a box of their supplies in their hand. At a minimum, that has to happen. Then there can be arrests and trials. But first, they have to be removed from the levers of power so that they cannot resist this. The government has gone mad along with the madness of its president. Anything and everything goes because we have a clown as the ringmaster. And now there's a whole circus metaphor here, but I'm not going to beat that to death, so I'll just stop right there. And that's all I got today, folks. Really, this is a late one, so I apologize. Probably not the greatest show that I've done, but it's what I got this week. So I will do better for you next week. Anyway, that is all I have time for. Like and subscribe. Come see us over on Gavin the Mothership, and I will see you on the next episode.